They say, as time goes on, as people change, so do their friendships. So do their relationships with others. They change the way they feel towards certain people, towards certain things. It's not always happy. Sometimes it doesn't end in sunshine and rainbows. There are times it ends in anger and frustration, and then it changes. Friendships are a funny and fickle thing. Just like people, they grow and change over time. But what is it about them that make us realize something has changed? That something has grown or withered away? I'm not really sure if there's a perfect example to show how friendships change, at least not one by itself. One of the main reasons I keep turning to this show in particular is because it shows growth. It shows change. And more importantly, it shows possibility. Every time I watch an episode, I'm reminded of my own friendships and how they've changed over time. Some have grown. Some I've lost. And others seem to be in a sort of stalemate. It's not always simple and clean. But if we try every day, if we work hard regardless of challenge, then maybe, just maybe, that seed of friendship can grow into a remarkable tree. A tree of harmony and peace. And from there, so many remarkable stories can be told and shared and grown. Welcome every pony to today's special video. The reason it's special is because it's the new year and my first video of this year. Not to mention my new renovation to the bar, so I thought I would do something different and look at this show on a deeper level. Much deeper than simply recap what all a single episode does. I was originally going to use Griffin the Brush-Off as a prime example of the subject of change in friendships. But as I think deeper and deeper about the subject, there's not one episode alone that can describe it. There's so many episodes in this show that give us the exposition and show us just how a friendship can change over time. The first example would be Griffin the Brush-Off, as it shows not everyone will follow a very kind path and will likely distance themselves from others. We see more of this development in the Lost Treasure of Griffinstone as Gilda goes from being a stuck-in-the-mud grump to a caring and growing soul. These two episodes alone show just what's possible in a changing friendship as time goes on. Rainbow Dash and Gilda were friends from junior flight school. Gilda was the only Griffin and no pony wanted to be around her. It was Rainbow Dash who extended her hoof in friendship while they were there. As time went on and paths diverged from each other, with lessons learned, they stayed good friends, keeping in contact with each other. But when Gilda was introduced to Rainbow's new friends, especially Pinkie Pie, she felt lost and jealous and didn't know how to react to that but by being possessive. She didn't want her friend to be any less special than what she was to her, and therefore choosing to believe that every pony else was beneath them. However, when the same hoof of friendship was extended by Pinkie Pie, when she threw a party for Gilda, she acted like a spoiled brat. Granted, the pranks didn't help, but I feel as if excluding them wouldn't have made much of a difference. When it was revealed that Rainbow was the one who set up said pranks, Gilda felt betrayed, and anger began to rise up as she tried to deny the fact by putting the blame on Pinkie Pie. But being the loyal friend Rainbow Dash was, she confronted Gilda, telling her this is not how she expected her old friends to treat her new friends, and that she should find someone else. It's here that we skip ahead into Season 5, when Pinkie and Rainbow arrive in Griffinstone and run into Gilda again. At first, Rainbow and Gilda put each other off, and Pinkie is the only one trying to find some middle ground. Gilda is clearly still angry about their last encounter, and basically tells both of them to shove off. to which Rainbow Dash is more than happy to comply, while Pinkie just wants to understand the bigger problem. While struggling at first, Pinkie does make some ground as she discovered Gilda's scones were missing something. At first, Gilda makes the self-satire comment about how it was missing friendship, not too far off, by the way, but Pinkie immediately doubles back to baking powder. Then their baking stops traffic in the skies, causing Greta of all griffins to fall flat on her back. And we are shown a much deeper part of Gilda that would normally go unnoticed by all the other griffins, as she helps Greta back up. I say it would go unmissed because Greta isn't too grateful as she shoves Gilda away, looking offended by the gesture of kindness. Feelings of regret and remorse are shown as Gilda recalls to Pinkie how she used to have a friend, but we all saw how that turned out. Pinkie then is reminded about how Rainbow ran off by herself and chooses to go look for her, leaving Gilda to her scones. When Pinkie discovers Rainbow Dash is in trouble, she quickly doubles back to Gilda for help. Gilda is understandably reluctant at first, but after being reminded of their friendship back from junior flight school, she quickly changes her mind and lends a helping talon. However, this rescue mission goes about as well as you expected with Pinkie being in the presence, and they quickly get plunged deeper into the abysmal abyss, where they find the idol of Boris, and Gilda is faced with the heaviest choice, both literally and figuratively. She has to choose between returning the lost pride and joy to Griffinstone, letting her newly awarded friends fall to their deaths, or saving said friends and losing the pride of her kingdom. It's here that we see the change and growth in Gilda as she hoists up her friends to safety and watches the kingdom's treasure plunge into the abyss. Despite all the challenges and hardships Gilda has faced, she chose friendship over everything else. Sure, it took her a while to get there, but a true and lasting bond takes time to develop. Both episodes show the hard work that needs to be put into a friendship. Rainbow and Pinkie became friends through their love of pranks, and Gilda, through thick and thin, had earned that friendship they shared. For you see, folks, friendship is a two-way street, and it requires both sides to weigh the balance of its traffic. If one side is too full or feels too empty, then that highway of friendship could crumble and break, and Gilda at first broke that highway, not wanting to put any effort into anything she felt was beneath her. But as time went on, and the distance felt wide, she began to slowly reconstruct those highways, and she wasn't alone in doing so. Pinkie was the one who found that middle ground to connect with Gilda, and used that to help Gilda reconstruct her friendship with Rainbow Dash. Together they realized how they could change Griffinstone and regain its lost pride and joy. Spoiler alert, it's not through some golden trinket, but through the magic of friendship. Do I have my problems with these episodes? Yeah. Namely how Gilda treated Fluttershy back in Season 1. I doubt anyone will ever forget that. Not to mention all the pranks and how Pinkie tried to charm an old statue. But if you look past the negatives, you really can find great examples of how a friendship can change over time. It started out shallow with Gilda not understanding how to treat others well, and grew from that into a new hope for the future of a long-lost kingdom. To those who might be struggling in a friendship they care about and feel like they're not getting anywhere, I advise you keep going, that you keep working on it every day. Be there for the ones you care about. Work with them if they're struggling. Play with them to make them smile. But most importantly, remember why you want that friendship. Remind yourself and them every now and again why it is you're building that friendship. Whatever that reason is, be it to accomplish similar goals or to simply keep each other company, remember that reason, and remember that it's worth whatever comes your way. I am the Crosser, and my hope is that you all have a very, very good day.